What's up, my cloud-licking patrons? How you guys doing this beautiful Sunday afternoon? So I was thinking, after the SpaceX Live CRS webcast that we did, that I would go back and watch the latest Blue Origin launch and the Electron launch from, the same day that SpaceX launched their rocket. I thought I'd watch them and just bring you guys along for the ride, the journey, for those of you that didn't watch them yet, and you can enjoy this with me. So I'm going to pull up. First, we'll start with the Blue Origin launch, and we'll hit that up, and then I'll probably make a second video, just a continuation of this video of the Electron rocket. So we're going to pull this up over here, and let's get into it. I'll turn the volume up after their little intro here. So a lot of people think that it's Blue Origin versus SpaceX. It's a cutthroat thing, blah, 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 cutthroat competition. And, you know, that's partially true because that's capitalism. It's competition, and it's healthy competition. And there might be a little bit of bad blood between Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. Although I think it's more of a respectful head-to-head kind of thing. Like, I think they do respect each other. Although Elon Musk probably wouldn't admit to it. Jeff Bezos probably wouldn't admit to it. But I think they do. I think it's healthy for the industry. But at the same time, I can understand why they'd want to kind of, you know, get the claws out and catfight a little bit. Because millions of dollars are on the line. But it's good. It's a good thing. So I don't think it's necessarily a healthy mindset to be like, oh, screw Blue Origin, SpaceX where it's at, or screw SpaceX, Blue Origin's where it's at. I'm obviously Team SpaceX out of the two, but I'm still rooting for Blue Origin. And if they invited me, I would definitely fly on one of their rockets too. I think any push for space, as space exploration, is a good thing. But looks like their audio cut out. Any push for space exploration is a good thing, no matter who's doing it, with the exception of people or companies or countries even, and it's probably more on the countries side of things, unless those people are trying to, you know, corrupt it or trying to take away everybody else's freedom to go to space. For example, maybe shooting down satellites and creating huge debris fields or something similar. All right, let me turn this up.
New Shepard's 11th mission to space, known by Team Blue as NS-11. The clock is at 19 minutes and 50 seconds until liftoff. You're ticking down to what should be another exciting launch. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ariane Cornell. It's to be a pleasure.
Well, see you later.
It's a pleasure of mine to be back behind the
Name
desk
that movie.
today. It's also a pleasure to be here when it's a bit warmer than the last time we saw you back in January. And since I'm outside, believe me, it's a really good thing. Before we start off today, I do want to say hello to my Blue Origin team back in Kent, Washington at our headquarters. Good morning, guys. I know it's early. Hope you've got your coffee. To our team here in Texas, hello. You're about to launch a rocket, of course, and our team in Cape Canaveral, Florida at our New Glenn Rocket Factory. And last but not least, to our newest location, Huntsville, Alabama. We've got a small but growing team down there that are about to build a
I did
new
not know
rocket
that.
engine
I did not
factory.
know they were in Huntsville,
Okay,
Alabama.
let's get into
but I did hear about their new
today's
factory.
mission, NS-11, the 11th mission in this New Shepard test program. Now, the rocket that's out there on the pad, she's getting ready for her 5th launch to space and back.
5th.
That, guys, is a reusable rocket. That rocket has 38 payloads on board. That is a record for us on New Shepard. And we're also talking today about how we're taking one step closer to flying people on board New Shepard later this year. Now, before we get into all of the details of today's mission, why don't we get everybody back on the same page by starting off with a recap of NS-10, the last mission. So on the last mission, we also had payloads that went up. They were from NASA's Flight Opportunities program, and let me tell you, it was a picture-perfect flight. Let's show you some highlights.
All stations, this is the flight director.
Now, I did
Channel
watch
1
this
with
one
red
live
report for
when they
terminal
launched
count
it.
and
I
launch.
can't remember how long ago
Capsule.
it was, though.
Go. Booster. Go. Ground. Go. New Shepard is go for launch.
5, 4, and engine start. 2, 1.
mean, even if you're Team SpaceX, you have to admit that's really cool. Man, they're having audio problems today.
CC touchdown.
Launch, land, repeat. Is that a new kind of slogan for them?
Let
I
me
know
tell
they
you
had a
guys,
Latin
that
one.
Never, ever gets old. Do you see the new camera shot that we've got of the booster coming back down to Earth? And then, of course, for me, my favorite part of every one of these launches is watching that capsule come down for a nice, soft touchdown in the Texas desert. Now, what we're looking for today on NS-11 is much of the same in terms of flight and soft touchdown. Now, to get to NS-11, we've actually racked up quite a few milestones, consecutive successful milestones to get here. 10 successful launches, 9 successful back-to-back booster landings, 3 successful escape tests, and 11 crew capsule landings, of course, if you include that first pad escape test from 2012. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got more milestones to come in the near future. Over the next several months and years, we got a lot of activity down here at Blue. Let me tell you, first of all, we are ramping up to be able to hit those milestones. When I started 5 years ago, now we're at 2,000 people. For those of you at home, if you want to plot that out, by the end of the year, we're going to be at 2,600 people. So we are growing fast. Most of the growth has happened up in Kent, Washington at our headquarters. Also means we're going to get a new headquarters building shortly here, which I'm pretty stoked about because that's where I'm based. Down here in Texas, we're also ramping up because we got human spaceflight coming up by the end of this year. We also are qualifying our rocket engines down here on our test stands. Down in Florida, we've got our big New Glenn rocket factory. New Glenn, of course, our orbital rocket that's coming online in 2021. We're filling this huge factory that we've taken over about a year and a half ago with big machinery to build that big rocket. And then just 8 or 9 miles as the crow flies from that factory down in Cape Canaveral is the launch complex that we're also building out. And last but not least, as we mentioned, down in Huntsville, Alabama, our newest location, we are going to be building the BE-3Us and BE-4 engines at a new state-of-the-art location. Now, just a couple of miles from there at the Marshall Space Flight Center, we're also going to be taking over test stand 4670, where we're going to be testing those engines that are coming off the line of the engine factory.
Okay, so they're building New Glenn's facility in Florida. They're doing their engine development in Huntsville, Alabama. They're launching in Texas, and their headquarters are in Washington. Okay, that's a pretty good spread.
Please check out our website. We've got various teams that need a diverse set of backgrounds, so check it out.
There you go, guys. If you want a job,
okay,
you can work for this lady.
14 minutes
She seems like a nice lady, but she can also be a little bit cringy in my opinion. But no big deal. Sometimes if I show Blue Origin launches in my classes, I can just feel my students kind of cringing by some of the things she says, or by the way she says them, I guess. But I mean, if I watch my videos, which I try not to do, I definitely have a lot of cringing. Kind of skip forward here a little bit. Oh, it looks like she's going to talk. So I guess I'll use this moment to just say, in the future...
She is New Shepard, looking forward to her 5th flight to space and back on that same rocket. She's got a couple of scuff marks on her, but that is what a reused
I think that looks
rocket
awesome.
looks like. So we are excited to have her back out again
unpainted
on the
rockets.
pad. It's a beautiful morning down here to launch some rockets. Okay, so let's talk about over the next couple of months, towards the end of this year, we are going to be flying humans on top of this rocket. But the only way that it's going to work is, of course, if we do it safely. Safety is at the core of everything that we do at Blue, including the rocket itself. One of the most important subsystems that we have on that rocket is the abort motor, or the escape motor. Now, the escape motor is meant to fire in the case that anything wrong is detected with the rocket. We want to get the capsule and whatever it's in it, payloads today, perhaps people in the future, we want to get it away from the booster and bring it back safely. Now, that system is completely autonomous. And we've tested it that way, and let me tell you, I think the successes speak for themselves. So why don't we check out some of the highlights from those 3 escape tests. Now, the first one was back in 2012, as mentioned earlier. We want to make sure that we can get the booster,
That's so cool.
excuse me, the capsule away from the booster, even on the pad, even if it hasn't lifted off
I
yet.
love parachutes.
Complete success.
Show the parachutes,
Next,
lady.
just a couple of years later, we did fire the escape motor at max Q during flight. Max Q,
There we
maximum
go.
dynamic pressure on the rocket.
SpaceX
which
is
means
in-flight
it's
abort
even that
test.
much more difficult
Who knows when that's
to
really going to
fire
be
the
now that they
escape
have
motor
to
away, but
use
again,
a different
worked
capsule.
out perfectly.
But it's supposed to be in like
and then
June.
just a couple of months
Next
ago,
month.
we fired the escape motor up at altitude 290,000 feet, 88 kilometers up, not quite into space, but very, very high up there, and it performed perfectly. We also had the reaction control system that came in for a nice stabilization of the capsule, and you see the retro thrust system there fired nicely for a soft landing here in Texas. So safety, safety, safety.
What
is at
happens
the
if the
core of
capsule
what we
floats
do, and
down
it's
on top of
not
the rocket?
only on the rocket itself, but it's
One in a million.
inside of the capsule. We have a couple of safety features that I'd like to walk you through. So why don't we check out this capsule? The big, beautiful windows. We've talked about them a lot. Nice for gazing out up over 100 kilometers when
This
you're
is
up
a
there in
pretty sweet
space.
penis
But
capsule.
we've built them multi-paned acrylic
pretty cool.
windows. We've tested them extensively on the ground, pressure tested them, but we've also tested them in space. The capsule that's out there on the pad has gone to space 4 times and back, and they've worked very nicely. The seats there, we built those in-house. You see that X mechanism, the scissor mechanism, meant to take out any last vertical energy, make sure if it's a bumpy ride, we'll make it softer for you. And then last but not least, that white paneling, acoustic paneling. We want to be able to dampen out any vibration. We want from a hearing standpoint that it's comfortable but also safe. So a beautiful ride that we've designed for you, aesthetically very pleasing on your way up to space, but first and foremost, we've built it
Very
with safety
pleasing.
in mind.
Man, there are audio issues, man. I cannot hear you, lady.
As she warms up for her 5th flight to space and back today.
See if I can get away with talking right here. So yeah, I wasn't able to catch these videos live, but in the future when I can catch Blue Origin or Electron rockets or maybe even NASA launches live, I will stream them live just for my Patreon members, okay? I'll continue to do SpaceX launches live on my YouTube channel for everyone to see, but you guys, my Cloud Linking patrons, will get these live with your membership. Okay. What is that for? That big white piece of paper looking thing.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are live here in West Texas, waiting for New Shepard's 11th mission to space in this test program. Why don't we get into the profile of today's test? It is what we call a nominal flight profile. It's what you and I are going to...
Nominal. Pronounce it right, lady. It's nominal.
And the booster are going to lift off together. They're going to go up to 75 kilometers, and the capsule is going to separate from the rocket, continue up over 100 kilometers. That's when you're going to get the 3 to 4 minutes of zero-G freedom, taking in those beautiful views, and then the capsule, of course, will come down under the parachutes and retrothrust system that will create the air cushion just in the last milliseconds. The booster itself, of course, will continue up to its own apogee and come in for a nice soft landing just 2 miles north of where it's
So the
taken off
booster
from.
just barely
So
makes it
cool.
into
Now,
space.
let me tell you,
Just barely.
I think a lot about going
The
to
capsule
space these days.
clears
Of
it
course,
pretty well, that Kármán line,
it
but
is part of my day job,
not the
but I
booster
want to
so
take
much,
you
just
on this
barely.
mental journey. So let's go to space together and back. So when you guys come down later this year to go flying on New Shepard, you're going to come about a day and a half prior. We're going to train you, make you feel comfortable. And then on the morning of, we're going to go out to the crew tower. We're going to ascend those stairs, reflecting on what we're about to embark on. Enter into the capsule with 5 of your best friends. It's very roomy. Get buckled in, and then the BE-3 engine is going to rumble. And as we ascend towards space, the G's are going to come on, and then main engine cutoff, separation, and that's when we're going to take in, again, the freedom of zero-G. Turn our somersaults, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I've never been up in zero-G. and then also gaze out of those huge windows back down at Earth. The colors of the Earth popping back at us, the darkness of space, it's just going to be incredible. And then we're going to get buckled back in, come back down, the chutes are going to inflate, and it'll be a nice soft 15 or 16 miles an hour, nice slow descent back to Earth. I mean, what I think is so cool about this upcoming experience is it's going to be the most intense, adrenaline-filled moments of our lives, but also in many ways the most reflective, right? I mean, I think it's so cool that we're sitting here talking about human spaceflight as something that you and I are going to be able to do. What a time to be alive, am I right? Okay,
I actually agree with
dreamers,
that.
come back with me.
It's quite a time to be alive,
step
for
by
sure.
step, ferociously.
We are very lucky.
That is what we're about at Blue, which means that we got to focus on the step that's right in front of us, which is today's mission. We have 38
they're on hold
payloads
right now.
on board.
How long
Why
are they gonna
don't
be on
we
hold?
send it to the pad, check out New Shepard. We are in a brief hold. That's okay. That is fine with us. As we've said before, on several missions, we spend a lot of time building the rockets, designing the missions. Our customers, of course, have been designing their experiments. If we need to take another minute or two before launch, that is just fine with
The
us.
hold's
So
not
why don't
going
we
to be
turn
too
it over to
long,
Pat
maybe
and
like
watch New Shepard as she gets
a
ready
few
for her
minutes, I
launch
think.
today.
What's awesome about not doing this live is I can see how long it's going to be till they actually launch. Okay, the pad goes back in about 6 minutes. And the thing launches, testing the ailerons or whatever you call those. I guess you call them just fins. Don't get too fancy now, Kevin. They're just fins. All right, here we go. Launches in about 8 minutes. Not even, like 7, 8 minutes. All right. See if there's anything coming up. Yeah, she's gonna start talking again. So I'll just let it run. So it says H.G. Wells right here, RSS H.G. Wells. I wonder who that is. I could look it up. Let me see if I can look that up really quick. H.G. Wells sounds familiar.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us live for New Shepard's 11th mission to space. This is the test program that continues as we march towards first human space.
That's what I thought. It is the author. Is that the Time Machine author?
6 minutes and 57 seconds
I was
to
like,
go
why does that
until
sound so
launch.
familiar? Well, that's
Our
because it's
team
an author.
is in a brief hold here. Just want
Yeah,
to
the
make
Time
sure
Machine
that everybody's
author.
aligned.
Gosh,
that the
I'm an
weather
idiot.
is all in bounds.
Such an
It
idiot.
looks nice and calm behind me, but it has been quite breezy down here in the last couple of days. And we also want to make sure
I don't
the winds
teach
aloft
English.
are all
I don't
within the
teach,
bounds.
reading books.
But
It's
while
not my
we
job.
have some time, let's talk about something that is at the core of what we do at Blue Origin when building the rockets. At the base, at the heart of it all, it's the engines. Liquid propulsion engineering is key to what we do here at Blue Origin. Now, I want to tell you a little bit more about one of our newer engines, the BE-3. So the BE-3 engine is the engine that is propelling New Shepard today. It is liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen that propel the rocket, but for the upper stage engine, we always knew that we wanted to use hydrogen. So we knew that we were going to upgrade this engine. To do so, there are a couple of tweaks that we're making. We're going to put a big nozzle on the BE-3U because it's going to be the upper stage engine. There are going to be 2 of those on the second stage of New Glenn, the big orbital rocket. So for in-space propulsion, it's really important. And the other thing that we're doing is we're going from 2 turbines on the BE-3 to 1 back-to-back turbine.
It's
So we're
turbine.
making those changes
Turbine.
on the BE-3U, and we're testing it
She's definitely
here
from Texas or
in
something.
Texas. Really, really exciting. All right, I
You
understand
say
that
turbine
the
or
team
turbine?
is out of the hold.
I'm wrong,
We're at
tell me I'm wrong,
T-minus
and we'll
6
fight over
minutes
it.
and 20 seconds to go until launch. Now, as I mentioned, today's launch is about those 38 payloads that are on board. We have our customers down here. They're very excited. A lot of choreography and orchestration goes to getting all of those payloads ready and down here on time. So why don't we hear from them what it's like?
And right now, it's really the golden age of space exploration, and it's an incredibly exciting time to be, a student and an up-and-coming engineer.
Currently, less than 600 people have flown in space. The capability of spacecraft like the New Shepard are going to allow thousands.
So turbine is spelled
eventually millions of people to
T-U-R-B-A-N.
live and work in space.
Turbine,
New
obviously
Shepard is very
T-U-R-B-I-N-E.
exciting because, as a
They mean the
suborbital
same
launch
thing.
vehicle, we can very
I guess
rapidly
turbine is
and
the southern
cost-effectively
speech
send up a
for
payload
turbine, maybe. I'm
and,
not sure.
Gather excellent
Don't care
space
enough to look it
experience.
up any further.
Could we have space habitats, entire modules that self-assemble on their own, essentially with smart Legos that are tossed out into microgravity,
Lego!
and allowed to find one another and create the
Say, "Shut up,
shape
Kevin, I'm
that
trying to
humans will
listen."
then live inside. Magnet magnets on the bonding edges, so you can see here, for example,
That's cool.
that bond snap. But the benefit is you don't have to assemble the IKEA furniture yourself. It will, once released into a microgravity environment, the tiles find themselves and self-assemble.
No
So
kidding.
this
That's
experiment is
freaking
designed
sweet,
to
bro.
provide a medical device
lady.
that treats astronauts in zero gravity who have an injured and collapsed lung that has some bleeding in it. The microgravity that we get with the Blue Origin New Shepard is several minutes, and that is the long enough time frame for our experiment to work and demonstrate that it's functioning.
We're pioneering what this industry will look like and the impact
Nice
that it will
stash,
have
bro.
on civilization.
Porn stash.
I love it. Our customers' enthusiasm is absolutely infectious. They really do become a part of Team Blue when they're down here. Okay, if you guys want to fly with us, check out our website. We want to fly the best of your payloads. Talking about
How
that,
much?
I want to send a special message
What
to
if
the
I am
students
the
that are out
payload?
there, to the future space explorers. We've got a special opportunity for you. We are running a competition with the group OK Go to send 2 of the coolest art projects up on New Shepard. Why don't we hear from the guys at OK Go more of the details on this?
All right, here's how we troll Blue Origin. Okay, just as like a friendly kind of troll. We buy a ticket for some payload to send up, but what we send up is like a model of a Falcon 9 rocket.
When we made our music video for Upside Down, Inside Out, we had to simulate
Or a picture of Elon Musk, or like a framed tweet of him going after Jeff
Two groups of
Bezos.
students will get to make an art
Hilarious.
project that really goes into space.
Thanks to our friends at Cognizant, Blue Origin is letting us send 2 real art projects into space.
The winners will work with our friends at the Playful Learning Lab at the University of St. Thomas to get their projects ready.
Then your project will be sent up as a payload on the New Shepard launch vehicle.
So get your friends together, get your teachers together, come up with your best ideas, because we want to send your art project to space.
So cool, right? Guys, this is your time to shine. Check out the website. The deadline is May 6th. I know it's a couple days away. It's a long weekend. You got this, guys. Send something in. We want to send the 2 of the coolest art projects to space. That's going to be a blast. All right, we're at T-minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go until launch. Let's check out New Shepard on the pad. Again, this is the 5th flight for this rocket and this capsule. This
I
capsule
apologize
today
for
full of
my dog.
38
He must saw a
payloads
squirrel.
on board. Now that capsule will continue to be used for payloads. The newest capsule that's going to be flying humans later this year, it's in the barn, not too far away from me. And because it's such a special capsule to us, we actually decided to name the newest capsule that's just in the barn the RSS First Step. RSS, reusable spaceship, of course, right? And First Step because it is our first capsule that is going to be taking people.
Here
It's
we
gonna
go.
enable
Tower
our
has
vision of millions of
retracted.
people living
They moved the whole
in
tower
space.
away, or are they
So
moving the
cool,
rocket
right?
away?
All
I think
right,
they're moving the rocket
bridge
away.
is
Nope, it's the tower.
retracting.
It's the bridge.
Guys,
okay. It's
we're
just the
about
bridge.
to launch a rocket. Let's turn it over and listen in on pad audio as New Shepard comes alive for space.
Here we go. Fancy camera work there, guy. Cairo, shut your face.
New Shepard at this point completely autonomous, starting at T-minus 2 minutes. She's going to be running through her last bit checks. There you go, aft fin checks, 4 of those fins, supporting the directional capability of the rocket. And then shortly here, we're going to see the BE-3 engine nozzle gimbal.
It wouldn't
also
surprise me
supports
if
the directional
Super
capability of
Heavy
the
will one
rocket.
day do that. It won't
All
at
the
first
while,
because
I
it'll
know our
have like
team
those
is
tri-fins
in mission
like
control,
the
keeping
Starship
their
will,
eyes on the
but then
temperature and the
later
and the
iterations
pressures in the
might
propellant
end up
tank.
having fins like this. We'll see. Nothing has been said about it.
Man, I have said this before, but there's nothing like a ticking clock and a rocket behind you to get your heart going. Guys, it's time to go to space. Let's get ready to rumble, New Shepard.
Let's get ready to rumble. Ten, 9, 8. Where's the announcer lady at? The countdown person. I'll do it. 4, 3, 2, 1. I love that sound. Let her go. I'm gonna move myself down here.
Look at her go.
There's
Mission
nothing down in that
Control has
corner.
confirmed New Shepard has cleared the tower on her way to space from West Texas. Go, baby, go. You can follow along as she speeds up towards space. You see there, top right corner of your screen. Bottom left corner of the screen is the altimeter. We're just about at max Q, maximum dynamic pressure on the rocket.
This rocket just seems like really safe. As far as I know, they've never had
Max
any
Q
problems,
confirmed.
like major
She
catastrophe
continues to
problems.
punch her way to space for the
But it's
fifth
like
time.
it's just such a
this rocket.
solid looking rocket. One single engine, you know, very minimal. But again, it's not
A
an
nice
orbital
clean
class
burn on
rocket,
the
so it doesn't have to be
BE-3
that
engine.
complicated per se. Fuzzy, crappy camera though. That's like cloud looking
Following
quality.
from this outside desk, a beautiful trail as she launches up towards space. We're looking for about 335,000 feet today for a max altitude.
Cairo, shut up! God, freaking annoying sometimes, man. If you ever get a German Shepherd, you gotta get some patience. Because when they want something, they do not shut up about it. And having two is sometimes twice as bad. But they're
All right, those
they're
38
furry balls
payloads
of
in
fun.
there, they're starting
Love
to,
'em.
they've definitely by now have felt those Gs. They come on gradually. You peak at about 3 Gs on the way up. Our next milestone here, MECO, main engine cutoff. The engine's going to cut off, but it's going to continue its ascent to space, both the booster and the capsule together. Main engine cutoff is confirmed. You can also see in the top right corner of the screen that the speed is coming down.
Separation.
Separation is confirmed.
You'll start seeing it spread apart here in a minute.
At that point, if we were up there flying in space, we're going to let you unbuckle, turn those somersaults. I'm definitely doing a
we
superwoman
go.
across the cabin.
They definitely need to put some onboard cameras, like
There you go. You
looking
can see
down
the
the,
two
outside
distinct
of the
craft in your
fuselage
screen.
or rocket body or whatever you want to call it, because this just isn't cutting it. It's the one like issue I have with their webcast. Like the biggest issue I have is there are no onboard cameras looking at the rocket or from the rocket.
Capsule on the right, booster on the left. Those payloads in there right now is when they're getting their nice, very clean micro Gs. This New Shepard rocket, based on the trajectory, gets really nice clean Gs, which is great for these experiments.
What I do like is that they put
All
their
right,
metrics.
Still accelerating up. We passed the Kármán
and
line, the
imperial
internationally
and not
recognized
metric.
line of space. That's at about
SpaceX says metric because that's the
330,000
scientific language, you know, metric. But since we're American, and even though I teach science, it's still easier for me to use imperial. But I mean, at the same time, I
And we've
wish
hit apogee.
I
see
wish I
now
would have
the
learned
speed
Imperial
went to
growing
zero.
up,
It's now speeding
or
up
I'm sorry,
again as
metric
the
growing
craft
up,
are coming
because
home.
it is
Unofficial
it makes more
altitude,
sense than Imperial does.
344,000 feet or so. We're going to actually confirm that number for you, and after the mission, a couple hours after the mission, we'll give you the official statistics. Correction, 346,000 feet or so. A nice high altitude. The higher you go, the longer your zero Gs. If only we were in there, guys.
All right.
It's coming.
The booster's
All right.
coming up on 1,000 miles per hour, but once it hits
The two
denser
craft are
atmosphere,
headed
that
home.
will
The
start
booster
slowing
on the
down
left, the
without
capsule on
lighting
the
up.
right. The booster is going to beat the capsule home because of its more aerodynamically shaped than the capsule, which has kind of a blunt end to it.
Then it'll deploy its little fins at the top of the rocket, and that will really slow it down. I think that happens at about 10,000 feet up. I think. Don't quote me on that.
All right, right about now, the rocket itself is going to hit what we call atmospheric pierce point. It's coming back from space into the atmosphere. It means it has air pressure for some of those aerodynamic surfaces to push against so it can maneuver itself. First of the subsystems to support the stability of the rocket, the wedge fins, we have confirmation that they have been deployed. You're going to see them get a little sharper in your screen. Those are based up at the top of the rocket.
Yeah, that's way higher than 10,000 feet, I think.
Now, the ring fin itself is also supporting the stability of the rocket. It centralizes the pressure, and so the rocket, just on its own, wants to stay nice and vertical on its way home.
Usually having a heavier engine section like SpaceX with the 9 Merlin engines, that creates and allows the opportunity for your booster to be bottom heavy, so it wants to come in engine first. Since they only have one engine on the bottom, it might be almost more top heavy. That's why they probably have to do the ring fin
of the rocket
to give it more drag up top and make the engines come down engine come down first.
New Shepard looking nice and stable on her way home.
And they switch between the altitude and the speed for the booster and the capsule without like really notifying you, so you don't know which one they're really
at about
following.
12,000 feet, there that goes. Drag brakes. Watch as the speed of the rocket dramatically is reduced. And we're going to wait for the BE-3 engine to relight and bring her down for a nice soft landing.
There's a sonic boom. The drag brakes are what I was thinking of, and I think those deployed about 15 to 20,000 feet, so that's what I was thinking of. Here we go. Let's watch the virus land.
Down in Texas. Look at that beautiful hover.
It is really cool, and it looks just like a virus, if you know what a virus looks like.
Just magic. Look at that.
That's awesome. Oh, little bounce.
And touchdown. Amazing. Beautiful. Look at those wedge fins retracting.
The wedge fins deployed way further up. That's what
and
deployed.
There go the drag brakes as well.
You gotta admit, that's a pretty cool booster.
5th flight to space and back for that rocket. Just incredible. Congratulations to the Blue Origin team on that. Just
right, get to
another
the capsule.
beautiful flight to space and back.
Don't want to miss the drogue chutes deploying.
All right,
here we go.
Show is not over.
About 10,000 feet, I think they
All eyes are on
deploy.
the capsule
drogue
now
chutes.
with those 38 payloads on board.
And then I know the mains actually deploy really low at about 5, which is typically what a tandem skydiver deploys their chutes at, is at 5. So it's pretty nuts that they wait so long. I love this. Oh, they deployed them about 7.
And there are the mains. A bit of coning, but that is all right. Reefed and now full inflation of the parachutes.
So the Crew Dragon uses 4 big parachutes, main parachutes.
Perfect.
And one of them is just for redundancy purposes, so that's why you see 4 for Crew Dragon and 3 for this capsule.
I can see the capsule from here just off in the distance. Nice and stable descent. Look at that.
Got some spinning going on there. This is the part where you throw up.
Look at those big, beautiful windows showing off for you, glistening in the Texas sun. A nice stable descent. See, it's 16, 15 miles an hour. Last milliseconds, we're going to get the retro thrust system that's going to fire. It's going to kick up the dust, but that's a nice air cushion for the payloads.
I'm going to try to pay attention to the miles per hour right before they land. See if it kind of stutters a little bit.
I see our team
because
has
they deploy
already
retro fire right
left
before they land to create like an
our
air
center
cushion.
here. It's going off to recover the capsule, and there
Nope.
it is.
It went straight from 16 to
Touchdown.
0. Instruments didn't even pick it
A
up.
beautiful, beautiful launch
Must
and
have happened too
landing
quick.
of the booster and the capsule today. Incredible.
It exploded. There's nothing
I'm
but
telling
dust.
you, this has been quite the morning. There's nothing like a
There
work
it
day,
is.
quote unquote work day, when you get to launch and land rockets. Am I right? Look at those two beautiful pieces of engineering. Look at that. Again, congratulations to the whole Blue Origin team, and congratulations to our customers. I know they're going to be heading out there shortly to check out their payloads. In fact, you know, their work is actually just starting now, if you think about it. Just incredible. So as mentioned, our team is preparing the landing safety operations and recovery, and we're going to be getting our customers out there at just as soon as possible. Look at that beautiful capsule. Now again, we've got some unofficial statistics for you. We will be sending out all of the official statistics later on today. Mission launch time, 8:32 a.m. Central Standard Time. Maximum ascent velocity, 2,217 miles per hour, or about 3,500 kilometers per hour. Maximum altitude, 346,406 feet, about 106 kilometers. And then mission elapsed time, 10 minutes and 10 seconds. Wow, what a day here in Texas. It has been just a pleasure to be down here with you. I want to send a special thank you and congratulations to our team, to our customers. We really want to fly with you guys again. I got to catch my breath here for a second. We have so many exciting things happening at Blue at the moment. We want you all to be a part of it. Tune in to our next webcast. Check out our website to come join the team.
I don't think she's going to talk about their next webcast. I'm really interested to learn more about when they're actually going to send their first passengers up. Let me transition this. So yeah, good job to Blue Origin. That's cool. I enjoy watching their launches. Not as much as SpaceX, but I still enjoy it. That's going to conclude this video, and then I'm going to start the next one, the Electron rocket, right meow. So make sure you scroll up on the Patreon homepage, and maybe you can find the Electron video. All right, see you guys in a few.